Podcast, Rev here. It is
Wildcard Wednesday.
July 9th, Wildcard Wednesday, in fact.
We got a new one coming again. We've been rolling with this whole new segment thing.
Have.
But
no, we have. To be fair, we have talked about this
isn't necessarily a
subject
new
before.
segment, but we haven't done this segment in a really long time.
It's been a couple of months, I would say, at least.
I would say our live show is the last time we probably did this.
Yeah.
Either way, we're bringing back the segment called Netiquette. Because y'all seem to not know what's going on with the internet and how it works.
And I want to start with a story. And I posted this on my personal Facebook page. I was like, Ashton, we got to talk about this.
And it's not the first time it's happened either.
But this came out last week. It was really big. I mean, this blew up.
National coverage.
They always blow up, but this one really blew up. And my first thought was, why did this lady even talk to the news?
I don't even know.
So you may have not seen this. And if you have, that means you live in a cave with your fingers in your ears and mud in your eyes. But a young lady who worked for a restaurant.
I believe it was Texas Roadhouse.
It was Texas Roadhouse. Got what she considered snubbed on a tip. She got like $5 or something. I don't remember. And she apparently, that happened a few times that night. She blasted not anyone in particular.
No, she didn't blast her customers.
She just kind of complained about poor tipping habits of people for servers. Didn't mention where she worked. Didn't mention anything out. She got fired. Now, why did she get fired? Because one of her friends was one of the people she served that night. And when I say friends, also friends on Facebook. And read that and was like,
screw this.
And she went and complained to the manager. And the manager's like, we got to talk about your Facebook status. Because this is not okay, okay? And she got fired.
She did. And I believe
And you think that would be the end of the story.
Nope.
No. She went to complain about her getting fired on the news. And I'm like, oh, my God.
Oh, and she wasn't like one of those anonymous, we've got you in a dark room and we're going to change your voice.
Full face.
Straight up in her house.
Straight up in her house, talking about it. And when she got to the point of her little interview where she says, and I paraphrase, this happened several times that night. I had so many customers and I only made about $60 in tips. Alarm bells were going off. I'm like, if you only made $60 in tips,
as a
you're
server
probably
on a Friday
shitty
night,
server on a Friday
you're probably
night.
not doing a good job. Sorry, it's just.
And I don't mean to be mean, but that's just That aside, why would you go on the news and admit that you did this and then talk about it and then whine? Because you know what? You're never gonna get another food service industry job.
No, people are gonna do, and this is something I would like to talk about. What you don't realize is when you do go apply for companies, people like me look you up and we look into your background, because when my HR department comes to me and they go, hey, hiring this new person, and I'm like, oh, okay. They're like, do a little check on them? Absolutely. You know why? It's not illegal right now for me to go, and if you have anything that's public record, it's public domain, it's public record, I can look into it and I can go through your stuff.
Jello shots of your drunken spring break party with your boobs out, guess what?
I've seen it.
Yeah.
Your Twitter rants where you get all crazy about your past employers or, previous situations, or your drama with your girlfriends or whatever. Yeah. I've seen it. Yeah. All your crazy Instagram pictures. I've seen it. Seriously, the only thing I probably don't have access to with this is Snapchat, and that's a yet. Because I guarantee there's going to be some crazy Snapchat archive thing going down somewhere eventually.
They're out there now.
And I can guarantee you somebody's going to hack it.
Yeah. No, there are websites dedicated to all the boob shots.
That is very true. Yeah, that is very true. Now, another thing that I would like to talk about real quick, a little background on this.
Go ahead.
Although you are legally protected somewhat from what you posted about on the internet. Yeah, the Supreme Court ruling basically is like, oh, well, you can't fire people for what they post on the internet about work. Ooh, well, there's a few clauses in that. Libel is still a thing, and if you don't know what libel is, it is basically you're slandering or using foul language or anything about a business in public domain that could be read by other people. Guess what? Social media counts as libel.
It does.
And a lot of states, including the one we live in, Tennessee, are at-will employee states, and more are switching over to that. Right to work, which means even if you post something that they don't like, they don't have to fire you for that. They can fire you for whatever they want.
Anything they want. With the exception of the big ones. You cannot be terminated for race, creed, religion, age, gender, or sexual orientation.
And personal venting on social media, totally not protected by any state and or federal law. Sorry, guys.
So really, the moral of the story is don't bitch about where you work online. Just don't do it.
Yeah, don't do it. Another thing, opinions, especially if they're not factually correct, Also not protected by legal legislation.
Yeah, you gotta be careful.
So, let's talk about one thing. Let's talk about the social media policy for companies.
Right.
Because a lot of people don't understand how the internet works as far as businesses go.
And trust me, wherever you work, you have one.
Oh, yeah.
If you don't know about it, go ask.
Go ask, because they don't have to because these are new laws.
I have to agree to mine.
Yeah, I also have to agree to mine.
Check a little box.
Because these are new laws, a lot of companies will have one, and they're not required to tell you about it whatsoever. Which basically means now they're not allowed to ask you for your Facebook password, which is something we talked about before, where employers were doing.
However, if you check your email or your Facebook at work, while you're at work on your work computer,
and they were to log that information,
because people log things that happen on computers. There is a small gray area, but for the most part,
we can do whatever we want because you agreed to the internet policy. It's your job, and I can guarantee you every one of them has it. It's an internet use policy, and we can also use it, get in, and then fire you for it most of the time because you were doing something that wasn't approved.
So don't use your work computer to check your Facebook or your email.
Please don't do that.
Don't do that.
Not whatsoever.
No. Do you have a phone? Do you have an iPad that has LTE on it?
Use that.
Use that.
Please. That's way safer. By the way, Wi-Fi at your building, any free Wi-Fi, anything.
Don't use that either. That's why I said LTE. That's why I said LTE, people.
So with that said, the social media changes are coming. The social media policies are coming. This basically means that employers are, if you're going to be employed by said company, you can't really talk bad things about that company.
Right.
It's probably better to stay away from even good things about that company. Don't tag your company in things.
Right.
If you really feel uncomfortable about it, even if your profile's private and you put, I work at this place.
Right.
The owner of said page, who you tagged as that, you're a part of a Facebook network now.
Yeah.
And even if your page is private,
stuff they can see.
They can still see a bunch of stuff. Yeah. That's part of the insights and demographics that goes along with Facebook.
So, like, when the company I work for, we have a social program where we promote services that we offer, and every one of them, it's an automatic thing. You click a button and it does it. You can use it to publish. But one of the rules is everything gets tagged with an employee thing. So and it's partly for information disclosure, because that's so even when you do speak positively, and you're disclosing that, you still need to be careful.
Absolutely.
You still need to watch what you're doing.
Really, what I'm saying is just watch what you put on the internet. Watch what you write about companies on the internet. Watch anything. I'm not just talking about people you work for. Like, I have complained many times about services on Twitter, because you want to get something done.
Oh yeah,
go to Twitter.
Look at person A complains about airline B, and airline B on Twitter goes, wait a minute, and goes and does something. I have personally complained about certain shipping companies that didn't do me too well, and immediately I got a ping and a DM. I was like, hey, what can we do for you? So you can use social media to your advantage.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just be careful. I mean, last week we talked about malware and viruses, and I said, surf protected. This is along those same lines.
It's just in a different manner.
Right. Instead of
you want to use common sense, basically.
Yeah. What's common sense?
Exactly. That doesn't seem to be a lot of that on the internet, which is the downfall of the internet. But guys, just remember, even if it's private,
it's not private. If it's on the internet, it's on the internet.
So, and everyone's like, who would want to hack my blah blah blah? Well, there's a lot of information in your blah blah blah. So, negative, positive, blackmail, everything.
Well, we do it for marketing research. We do it to find out what I mean. Look at the thing that Facebook just went through with this investigation we talked about on Monday, real briefly. But they're looking at your internet history. They're looking at your status updates, and they're running social experiments to find out who you are. And I know that's not the same thing along the lines of your job and whether or not someone's going to fire you, but it's the same thing when it comes to what you're saying online and what you do online. We track who you are. We've talked about hacking in the past. We talked about social engineering. That's where a lot of this comes from too.
Social engineering still back and making a huge rise and comeback at the moment.
So I mean, it's all part of the same stuff. If you bitch about all your girlfriends and you say their names and you tend to be the kind of person that uses girlfriend names as passwords, then I can go get that stuff. If you are, and if you're not, but you bitch about those girlfriends, and I'm looking to hire you for, I don't know, the new job at the daycare center you applied for, and you're some crazy person. We don't want you bringing that
personal drama into the new.
Yeah, I'm not going to want that.
Yeah, exactly. I guess really what I'd like to do is give a little homework assignment this weekend.
Ooh, homework?
I got two things for you to do.
School, people.
That's right. One, I want you to investigate what your social media policy is at your employer. Yeah. Because you need to educate yourself. Nobody's going to do it for you. Nobody's going to slap it all down in non-lawyer language. Go to your HR and ask them what it is, what it specifies, what it means, and have them explain it to you if you have to, because you need it explained to you.
They'll give you a copy, though.
And the second one, I really think that I would just like people to either go back through the last 6 months and look what you've posted without thought.
Yeah. Have you said something extremely stupid? And that's the only... I mean, have you said something about someone or a company you worked for or a company you've been to that, you know... Like, for example, if you constantly complain about a company and then you go apply for a job at said company, guess whose job you're not going to get?
Not the one at that company.
Not that one.
And while I'm on the subject of looking into these things, actually check your state employment laws as well. And check your state media laws. Well, when I say media laws, what applies to your hiring, firing processes, and what states are allowed to do, because believe it or not,
you
at a lower level, I mean...
Yeah, you can do that with the EEOC. So, Equal Opportunity Employment Commission.
Make sure to get that stuff done this week.
Yeah. Do it.
If you got any questions, right, by the way...
you can always email us.
You can email us.
show@thatstupidpodcast.com.
You can feel free to drop us a call, 480-STUPID-9.
You can comment on our Facebook, which is at facebook.com/thatstupidpodcast.
Subscribe to us on YouTube, maybe, perhaps, and you'll get all our video updates as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
The biggest thing here is we want you to be protected. We're not doing this to guilt trip you guys, or maybe you should stop posting pictures of your sad face with your cat and your selfies and your X Pro 2 filters or whatever. I don't care.
You trying to talk about me? A little bit?
I
love my cats,
I'm just
man.
saying.
I love my cats.
But the biggest point of the whole thing is we're just trying to help you guys out.
Right.
This isn't for us. I already know I put a bunch of stuff on the internet I probably shouldn't put on the internet, but...
Well, and so that's the other thing. I guess that's the flip side of this. If you are willing to mitigate, right, or understand the risk of exposure, and you're willing to accept the risk of exposure and what it may mean to a potential job in the future... And you're doing that knowingly,
then you're fine, because you're accepting that risk.
You're making that decision.
You will never hear me go, oh man, I didn't get this job because I posted a stupid selfie of myself from like 2 years ago on Facebook. Right. I'll never complain about that. I'm full upfront disclosure. Nothing about my Facebook is private. I'm totally public. It's, so.
It's all out there anyway.
Look into it. But that's all I've got for Netiquette, and that's the Wildcard Wednesday for this week.
So stay safe, don't be stupid, and let us know if you did the homework.
Yeah, make sure to let us know if you did the homework, or if you have any questions.
Comment in the YouTube link below here.
Yeah.
Just put a little comment. Say, hey, I totally did my homework. Thanks for helping.
Or just be like, hey, I don't need to do my homework. Go to hell. I hate you guys.
Yeah,
I'm cool with that too. Comments, curse words, whatever.
It's all good, man. But tomorrow is...
Pop culture.
Oh, the movies are on.
We got some deep down information, and we're going to be doing a little rumor dispelling. So, stick around for that. We'll be back tomorrow.